Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program that allows users to calculate, manipulate, and manage data. Just as Scripture encourages us to conduct our lives in a way that is right and orderly, Microsoft Excel features have been used to help users manage personal finances and become more organized and efficient. By the end of this project, you will have demonstrated the ability to enter text, numbers, and simple functions, format cells, create a 3D pie chart, and adjust document properties. Before going to the next slide, open the Excel program and create a blank workbook. To do this, refer to the directions on page ETC305 of our text. Let's begin by entering text in a cell. To do this, tap or click cell A1 and enter the title for the worksheet as shown on this slide. Then tap or click cell A2 and enter the subtitle as shown on this slide. To complete the entry, tap or click the enter box. Now, let's add the column titles so that the numbers under the column titles are identified. To do this, tap or click cell A3 and enter the column title shown on this slide. Tap cell B3 or press the right arrow key to enter the next column title and make the cell to the right the active cell. Repeat these steps until all column titles are entered as shown on this slide. Click the enter box after entering the last column title. Before going to the next slide, tap or click cell A8 and enter the column titles as shown on this slide. On this slide, we'll enter the row titles. To do this, tap or click cell A4 and enter the row title depicted on this slide. Tap cell A5 or press the down arrow key to enter the next row title shown on this slide and make the cell below the current cell the active cell. Repeat the previous steps until all row titles are entered as shown on this slide. In Excel, you can enter numbers to represent amounts. If a cell entry contains any other keyboard character, Excel interprets it as text and treats it accordingly. Tap or click cell B4 and enter the amount shown on this slide. Enter the same amount for each cell on this row. Enter the remaining budget items as shown on this slide. You can also refer to Table 1.1 on page ETC312 of our text. Now that we have numerical data in the cells, we're ready to apply the simple function for summing up the numbers in the column. To do this, tap or click the first empty cell below the column of numbers to sum. In this case, it's cell B6. Tap or click the Sum button on the Home tab to display a formula in the formula bar and in the active cell. The Sum button is clearly depicted in Figure 117 on page ETC17 of our text. Tap or click the Enter box in the formula bar to enter a sum in the active cell. Repeat these steps to enter the sum function in cell B17 as shown on this slide. Since we want the sum to be in every column of row 6, let's copy the function from cell B6 to remaining columns. Tap or click cell B6 to make it the active cell. Then tap Autofill on the mini toolbar or point to the fill handle to activate it. Drag the fill handle to select the destination area to display a shaded border around the source area and the destination area. Lift your finger from the screen or release the mouse button to copy the sum function from the active cell to the destination area and calculate the sums all across the row. Repeat these steps to copy the sum function to all the columns in row 17 as shown on this slide. We've applied the sum function to columns. Let's do the same thing for the totals at the end of the row. To do this, highlight a range at the end of the row or total column. Tap or click the Sum button on the Home tab to calculate and display the sums of the corresponding rows. Repeat these steps to calculate and display the sums in the total column of each row as shown on this slide. Sometimes a predefined function, like the sum function, is not available for the calculation you want to perform. In cases like this, you will need to enter the formula using the keyboard. Let's do this with cell B19. Select this cell so that it is the active cell. Total for this net column is the result of cell B6 minus the result of cell B17. Type the formula in the cell to display it in the formula bar and in the current cell, and to display colored borders around the cells referenced in the formula. Tap or click the cell to the right to complete the formula and to display the result in the worksheet. Before going to the next slide, select cell B19 and drag the fill handle through to cell N19 and release the mouse button. Your completed worksheet should look like the unformatted worksheet in Figure 129 on page EX23 of our text. Now we are going to begin formatting the worksheet. Tap or click the cell A1 and then tap or click the Cell Styles button on the Home tab to display the Cell Styles gallery. Point to the title cell style in the Titles and Headings area of the Cell Styles gallery to see a live preview of the cell style in the active cell. Tap or click the title cell style to apply the cell style to the active cell. Next, let's change the font. Tap or click cell A2 to change the font. Tap or click the font arrow on the Home tab to display the font gallery. Point to the Cambria font in the font gallery to see a live preview of the selected font in the active cell. Tap or click the Cambria font to change the font of the selected cell. Let's bold the title in cell A1. To do this, tap or click cell A1 and then tap or click the Bold button on the Home tab to change the font style to bold. Now, let's make the font size of the title a little bigger. With the desired cell selected, tap or click the font size arrow on the Home tab to display the font size gallery. Point to the font size 14 in the font size gallery to see a live preview of the active cell with the selected font size. Then tap or click the desired font size in the font size gallery to change the font size in the active cell. Let's continue formatting cell A1 by changing the font color of the worksheet title. With the cell A1 still selected, tap or click the font color arrow on the Home tab. Point to the color Blue Accent 1 in the Theme Colors area of the Font Color Gallery to see a live preview of the font color. Then tap or click the font color in the active cell to select it. Let's center the title of the worksheet. To do this, select cell A1 and drag to select the range of cells through N1. Tap or click the Merge and Center button on the Home tab to merge the selected range and center the contents of the leftmost cell across the selected columns. Before going to the next slide, repeat these steps to merge and center the subtitle Monthly Estimates as shown in Figure 142 on page EX30 of our text. Now let's center the column titles. To do this, select cell A3 and drag through cell N3. and release the mouse button. Tap or click the Cell Styles button on the Home tab to display the Cell Styles gallery. Tap or click a heading cell style to apply the cell style to the selected range, and then tap or click the Center button on the Home tab to center the column headings in the selected range. Before going to the next slide, repeat these steps to format other column titles as shown on this slide. You can also refer to figures 143 through 145 in our text. We've just finished formatting the title, subtitle, and column titles on the worksheet. Now, let's format the numbers. Select the range of cells containing numbers to format. Tap or click the Accounting Number Format on the Home tab to apply the format to the cells in the selected range. You've probably noticed that some of the text in the cells is cut off from view. To adjust the column width so that the full column titles are visible, point to the boundary on the right side of the column. To change the size, you'll first need to change the mouse pointer to a split double arrow as shown on this slide. Then, double-click on the boundary to adjust the width of the column to the width of the largest item in the column. Our last task is to chart the monthly expenses. To begin, tap or click the name box in the formula bar. This is more clearly seen in Figure 153 on page ETC305 of our text. Then type the cell references of the cell you wish to select. In this case, it is A3. Press the Enter key to change the active cell in the name box. Now we're ready to add the 3D pie chart. To do this, select the range for the 3D pie chart as shown on this slide. Tap or click the Insert Pie or Donut Chart button in the Insert tab to display the Insert Pie or Donut Chart gallery. Tap or click the Insert Pie or Donut Chart gallery to insert the chart. Tap or click the chart title to select it. Type the chart title shown in Figure 158 on page ETC39 of our text. Then, press the Enter key to change the title. Deselect the chart title before going to the next slide. We've created a chart, and now we're ready to select a chart style. To do this, tap or click the Chart Styles button to display the Chart Styles gallery. Tap or click Style 3 in the Chart Styles gallery to change the chart style. Since we don't want the chart to block the information on the worksheet, click and drag the chart below the Personal Budget worksheet. Now, you are ready to take a screenshot of this project. Once you have taken the screenshot and saved it to your computer, upload the screenshot to Slide 2 of the PowerPoint template for the Excel screenshots provided in the Excel assignment area. Lastly, let's move the chart to a new sheet. To do this, tap or click the Move Chart button on the Chart Tools Design tab. Tap or click New Sheet to select it, and then type the title as Monthly Expenses. Tap or click the OK button to move the chart to a new chart sheet with the New Sheet tab name. Let's change the Worksheet tab name. To do this, double tap or double click the Personal Budget Worksheet tab in the lower left corner of the window. Type a new name as the Worksheet tab name. Then press and hold the Renamed Sheet tab to display a shortcut menu. Tap or point to the orange Accent 2 tab color in the tab color gallery. Then tap or click the color to change the color of the tab. You now have all the information needed to complete this project. Remember to upload your completed project as an Excel document in the Blackboard assignment area for this week. John 15:7 is an excellent example of scripture that expresses conditional elements. If you live in me, and what I say lives in you, then ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This lecture will introduce you to commonly used formulas and functions. If you use the formulas correctly, then accurate data results. The conditional elements of formulas and functions, like the conditional elements of Scripture, are non-negotiable to achieve a specific desired result. By the end of this project, you will have demonstrated the ability to enter formulas, apply functions, apply themes and formats, and make changes to the page layout. Before going to the next slide, open Excel and create a blank workbook. Let's begin by creating a worksheet title and subtitle. Select cell A1 and type Hypermass Online Storage as shown on this slide. Then select cell A2 and type Salary Report. Continue to enter column titles, row titles, and salary data as shown on this slide and explained on pages EX70 through EX72. Feel free to pause this video while you complete those tasks. Now we're ready to enter a formula using the keyboard. With cell E4 selected, type the formula shown on this slide in the cell. The formula will display in both the cell and the formula bar. Notice the colored cell borders. This means the formula in the current cell is referencing other cells with colored borders. Press the right arrow key to complete the arithmetic operation indicated by the formula. This will display the result in the select cell and automatically select the cell to the right. Notice the list of arithmetic operations and the order of operations found in your text on page EX72 in table 2.2 and 2.3. To use point mode for entering formulas, select cell F4. Begin by typing in the cell the formula equals 0.22 asterisk open parenthesis, and then tap or click cell E4 to add the cell reference in the formula. Notice the marquee around cell E4 indicating that it is being copied into the formula. Before going to the next slide, continue the formula you started in cell F4 by typing a minus sign and then tapping or clicking cell B4. Cell B4 is now part of the formula in cell E4. Finish typing the rest of the formula as shown on this slide. Then tap or click the enter box in the formula bar when you have finished entering the formula. Before going to the next slide, enter the formula depicted in figure 2.9, 2.10, and 2.11 on pages EX77 through EX78. Then, copy formulas using the fill handle as shown in figure 2.12 on page EX79. In addition, determine the totals using the sum button as shown in figure 2.13 and the total tax percentage as shown in figure 2.14. These are skills you mastered in the first Excel project. In rows 14, 15, and 16, we want to use an Excel formula to determine the highest, lowest, and average value in a column. We'll start by determining the highest number in column B using the function box. To do this, select cell B14. This makes cell B14 the active cell and indicates where the result of the functions will be entered. Tap or click the Insert Function box in the formula bar to display the Insert Function dialog box. This is best seen in Figure 215 on page EX82 of our textbook. If necessary, scroll to and then tap or click Max in the Select a Function list. This is also best seen in Figure 215. Tap or click the OK button to display the Function Arguments dialog box and type the cell range shown on this slide in the number 1 box to enter the first argument of the function. Tap or click the OK button to display the highest value in the chosen range in the selected cell. Figure 217 shows the result in cell B14. Select cell B15. This cell will contain the minimum value of column B. To do this, tap or click the sum arrow in the Home tab. This is best seen in Figure 218 of our text. Tap or click Min to display the min function in the formula bar and in the active cell. Drag through the range of values of which you want to determine the lowest number as shown on this slide. Then tap or click the Enter box to determine the lowest value in the range and display the result in the formula bar and in the selected cell. Figure 221 shows the result in cell B15. Select cell B16. This is the cell that will contain the average of the values in column B. Using the keyboard, type the equal sign followed by the letters A and V. This will display the formula autocomplete list. Press the down arrow key to highlight the average function. Double tap or double click average in the formula autocomplete list to select the function. Select the range to be averaged as shown on Figure 223 on page EX86 of our text to insert the range as the argument to the the argument to the function. Tap or click the Enter box to compute the average of the numbers in the selected range and display the result in the selected cell. Figure 224 shows the result in cell B16. Before going to the next slide, use the fill handle to copy the functions into the adjacent columns. This is a skill you learned in the previous Excel project and practiced a few slides ago. For a refresher on using the fill handle, refer to pages EX87 to EX88. Your values across the cells should be the same as those in Figure 225. Let's use the range finder to verify the formula in cell H4. To do this, double tap or double click cell H4 to activate range finder. Press the escape key to quit range finder and then tap or click anywhere in the worksheet to deselect the current cell. Notice that the cells referenced in cell H4 are highlighted with corresponding colors. On the next few slides, we'll be applying themes, colors, and borders. Let's begin by changing the workbook theme. Tap or click the Themes button on the Page Layout tab to display the Themes gallery. Tap or click the Basis theme in the Themes gallery to change the workbook theme. Now we'll apply a background color and border around the worksheet title and subtitle. To do this, select the range to color and then tap or click the Fill Color arrow on the Home tab to display the Fill Color gallery. Tap or click the color shown in Figure 231 of our text on page EX93. This will change the background color of the range of cells. Next, tap or click the Borders arrow on the Home tab to display the Borders gallery. tap or click the border shown on this slide. This will display a border around the selected range. On the next few slides, we'll be applying styles to some of the cells. Let's begin by applying a date format. Select cells J4 through J12. Tap or click the Format Cells Number Format dialog box launcher in the Home tab to display the dialog box. If necessary, tap or click the Number tab and tap or click Date in the category list, and then tap or click a date type to choose the format for the selected range. Tap or click the Number tab and then tap or click Date in the category list to choose the format for the selected range. Tap or click the OK button to format the dates in the current column using the selected date format style. Let's center the values in column B. To do this, tap or click the Center button on the Home tab to center the data in the selected range. Figure 237 shows the values in column B centered and the date style applied to column J. Now, let's apply an account number format and comma style format using the ribbon. To apply the accounting number format, select cells D4 through G4. While holding down the Control key, select cell I4. While continuing to hold the Control key, select cells E13 through G13. And lastly, while continuing to hold down the Control key, select cell I13. You've just selected several non-adjacent ranges and cells. Tap or click the Accounting Number Format button on the Home tab to apply the accounting number format to the selected non-adjacent ranges. Let's apply the comma style format to specific cells. Select cells D5 through G12. Hold down the Control key and select cells I5 through I12. Tap or click the comma style button on the Home tab to assign the comma style format to the selected ranges. Before going to the next slide, apply the comma style format to cells C4 through C16. Let's continue to apply styles to a range of cells. On this slide, we'll apply a currency style. Select cells D14 through G16 and then tap or click the Number Format dialog box launcher in the Home tab to display the Format Cells dialog box. If necessary, tap or click the Number tab to display the number sheet. Then, tap or click Currency in the category list to select the necessary number format category, and then tap or click the styles shown on this slide in the negative numbers list to select the desired currency format. Tap or click the OK button to assign the currency style format to the selected ranges. Now we'll apply the percent style format. Select cells H4 through H16. Tap or click the percent style button in the Home tab to display the numbers in the selected range as a rounded whole percent. Tap or click the Increase Decimal button in the Home tab 2 times to display the numbers in the selected range with 2 decimal places. Notice column H values show as percent with 2 places after the decimal. We just finished applying styles to a range of cells. Now we'll apply conditional formatting styles to a range of cells. Select cells C4 through C12. Tap or click the Conditional Formatting button on the Home tab to display the conditional formatting list. Tap or click New Rule in the Conditional Formatting list to display the New Formatting Rule dialog box. Tap or click Rule Type shown on this slide in the Select a Rule Type area. select and type the desired values shown on this slide in the Edit the Rule description area. Before going to the next slide, apply the font color and background cell color as shown in figures 246 through 249. Detailed directions for this provided on pages EX 101 and 102. On this slide, notice that the employee names in column A and the title for column B are not fully displayed. Changing the column width will resolve this issue. To do this, select the A and B columns by dragging through the column headings. Tap or point to the boundary on the rightmost column heading to cause the pointer to become a split double arrow. The split double arrow is best seen in figure 250 on page EX 104 of our text. Double tap or double click the right boundary of the column to change the width of the selected columns. To resize a column by dragging, point to the boundary of the right side of the column heading. When the mouse pointer changes to a split double arrow, drag to the desired width and then lift your finger or release the mouse button to change the column width. To change the row height, tap or point to the boundary below the row heading. To resize the row, drag the boundary to the desired row height and then release the mouse button. Lift your finger or release the mouse button to change the row height. Now, let's check the spelling on the worksheet. Tap or click cell A1 so that the spell checker begins at the beginning of the worksheet. Tap or click the spelling button on the Review tab to run the spell checker and display the misspelled words in the spelling dialog box. Apply the desired action to each misspelled word, should there be any. When the spell checker is finished, tap or click the Close button.
Adjust the margins of the worksheet. To do this, tap or click the Page Layout button on the status bar to view the worksheet in Page Layout view. Tap or click the Adjust Margins button on the Page Layout tab to display the Margins gallery. Tap or click the Narrow Margin style to change the worksheet margins. Before you go to the next slide, add a header to the worksheet. To do this, tap or click above cell A1 in the center area of the header area. Type the header in figure 261 on page EX 111 and then press the Enter key. Our last task is to change the page orientation. Tap or click the Change Page Orientation button on the Page Layout tab to display the Change Page Orientation gallery. Tap or click the Landscape Orientation icon in the Orientation gallery to change the worksheet's orientation. Now you are ready to take screenshots to demonstrate mastery of the Excel skills learned in this lecture. From the Backstage Print view, take a screenshot of the salary report as shown on figure 264. Upload the screenshot to slide 4 of the PowerPoint template for Excel screenshots. On this slide, you will learn how to print a section of a worksheet. To do this, select cells A3 through E16. Tap or click File on the ribbon to open Backstage View. Tap or click the Print tab to display the print gallery. Tap or click Print Active Sheets in the Settings area on the Print tab to display a list of printing options. Tap or click Print Selection to print the selected range. Now you are ready to take a screenshot of the selected cells as depicted in figure 266. Upload the screenshot to slide 5 of the PowerPoint template for Excel screenshots. The last screenshot will be taken of the complete worksheet, displaying the formulas on one page. Begin by pressing Ctrl plus accent mark to display the worksheet with formulas. Tap or click the Page Setup dialog box launcher on the Page Layout tab to display the Page Setup dialog box. If necessary, tap or click the Landscape Orientation on the Page Setup dialog box. Also, tap or click Fit To in the scaling area to select it. Tap or click the Print button to print the formulas in the worksheet on one page. From the Backstage view, select the Print Active Sheets option in the Settings area of the Print Gallery. Take the screenshot as shown in Figure 269 and upload it to Slide 6 of the PowerPoint template for Excel screenshots. You now have all the information needed to complete this project. Remember to upload the screenshots to the PowerPoint template for Excel screenshots located in the Blackboard assignment area for this week for the Excel project.